ladies and gentlemen, we're back dito sa ating programang Aksyon Central Luzon Special Edition. Ito pa rin po si Sonny Lopez at kasama ko po si Atty. Temie Lambino. No? At maganda po mga pagkakataon na to sapagkat nakakabigay po tayo ng informasyon. Because a lot of people are in a quandary as to what to do. Some people are confused because of the automation dahil bago po yan, di ba? Kaya patuloy pong lumalabas sa telebisyon, sa mga radyo, nagpapa-interview, sa mga dyaryo, no? Itong si Atty. Temie Lambino para nga po yung information ay umabot po sa ating mga kababayan. So pagdating po ng halalan ay wala na pong confusion. Tuloy-tuloy na po yan. Ngayon, Atty. Temie, no? Yung ating kampanya ay nagsimula na for
the national positions.
For the national positions.
Yes.
Okay. So sa mga nakikita mo, you've been observing. Tama ba yung ginagawa ng mga ano? Wala bang violation sa mga posters, mga ano?
Parang 95% violation. Yes, actually. The national positions, the campaign for the national positions started last February 9. Now, nakita mo talaga sa mga daanan, the trees are full of posters, streamers. Hindi lang mga trees, mga poste ng kuryente, mga gawad ng kuryente natin. And also some public buildings. These are not allowed under the law. That is prohibition and violation under the Fair Election Act. And we have...
Public buildings?
Yes, public buildings. Any public building.
Mga eskwelahan?
Mga eskwelahan, hindi mo pwedeng lagyan yan. Munisipyo, hindi mo pwedeng lagyan yan ng mga streamer or any poster. Because we have also sizes. When it comes to poster, yung poster natin, the size should be 2 feet by 3 feet only. You shouldn't exceed on that size. We have streamers also. Streamers are being used not on a regular basis na ilalagay mo lang kung saan-saan. Streamers would be used only on public rally and public meetings.
Yung over the size that you have mentioned?
3 by 8 yun. 3 by 8. 3 feet by 8 feet. The maximum size, actually. And you can put that 5 days before the intended rally or public meeting. But you have to remove that 24 hours immediately after the meeting or rally. So you have to remove them. Otherwise, these are already illegal. Okay. Now on the sizes, not only on the sizes, the 2 feet by 3 feet poster should contain the paid for by...
Hindi raw pwede yung friends.
No. There should be a specific name and a specific address.
Okay.
And also a specific name who is the beneficiary on this. Paid for the candidate or the political party, and paid by the person, and also the specific address should be included on that, or should be printed on that poster. Otherwise, even if it is that campaign material is within the 2 feet by 3 feet measurement, it's still illegal if it does not contain the words that we just mentioned. Yun. So, at saka, yung sinasabi nga natin, first day of the campaign for the nationals, they pasted, they nailed, they hang, etc., posters, our trees, post cable wires. That is not allowed by the law. And kanina, we have a coordinating conference. We have a series of conference with the PNP, AFP. We had a coordinating conference to remove these illegal campaign materials. We have the Oplan Baklas. And purposely to remove this election paraphernalia hang on different places which are not allowed by the law.
But if they're in the...
That is only the cure. That's the cure of this problem. We have to remove them. Now, the prevention. The prevention is that we form a task force also to monitor the situation. Like yung patrol. We have to mobilize the patrol cars of the PNP to make sure that the main roads, mga highways natin like in MacArthur and OG, Olongapogapan Road, would be protected from the violation of this, violation of the candidates and their political supporters on this poster.
So both sides yan?
Both sides, yes.
I mean, yung sinabi mong road na yun, Olongapogapan Road, dapat it must be free of campaign
Not
posters.
only that, including all the streets.
Including all the streets.
Yes, that's why. And the misconception on this, Sonny, we see people hanging posters on trees because they think that this is just a violation siguro na the COMELEC would just give you a letter not to repeat it or reprimand him. Yun lang siguro ang inakala nila. But there is no difference. The penalty of this has no difference to a person who is apprehended violating the gun ban.
Oh,
yes.
Ganun din ka.
The penalty of this violation would be 1 year to 6 years imprisonment. Disqualification to hold public office. And if you are a candidate, you are disqualified to run this coming May 10, 2010 election. That is a ground for disqualification.
Okay. Let me ask you this. This time, for the local bets, while they have filed their certificates of candidacy, the problem is, for all intents and purposes, you can't consider them as candidates yet.
Yes, that's right.
Hindi pa nag-start yung campaign. So
for the local, that would start on March 26. We have the definition on that on the Pinera versus, in the case of Pinera versus the Commission on Elections, where the Supreme Court said that a person who filed the certificate of candidacy can only become a candidate or considered candidate only on the start of the campaign period. Now, pag nakita natin yung mga malalaking billboards of the local
wala pang violation
people who filed their certificates of candidacy for local positions, wala pang violation. That's why there was an instruction a while ago to the Commission on Elections and the task force of the COMELEC and PNP, baklas to only remove the posters for the national positions and the party list.
Yun, very, very clear yun. So pag-start po ng campaign, kailan mag-start ng campaign ng local of...
That would be on March 26.
So March 26, kailangan kayo ng sariling magbaklas, no? ng inyong mga illegal na mga nilagay na mga posters, no?
And we also have in this period, the period of campaigning for national would be February 9 to May 8.
Yes.
2 days, 1 day before the election dapat wala na. March 26 for the local until also May 8. Now we have a break, 2 days tayo.
2 days.
Sa April 1 and 2. April 1, that is Monday, Thursday.
Yes.
And April 2, that would Good Friday. And there should be no campaigning on that. So if candidates, we would see candidates na
roaming
around or
meetings,
organizing people for that particular purpose, we can apprehend them and you can file a case. Any person can file a case.
Parang flagrante.
That is yes, that's my point on the pagro-ronda, no? Yung pagpapatrol, yung prevention of putting election paraphernalia outside the common poster areas.
Let me ask this before I forget. Yung mga local candidates, pwede bang you give them a time? You will give them a certain time before the actual, kasi warning na itong binibigay mo eh.
Alright.
Na sila nang mismo magtanggal o magbaklas ng kanilang mga nalagay na.
The COMELEC Resolution 8758, that is the implementing rules of the Fair Election Act, states there that within 3 days from the start of the campaign period, our local candidates, or the candidate should remove these posters, streamers, or billboards that they put up before the campaign period.
Okay.
Otherwise,
especially those there.
Otherwise, if they wouldn't remove that, that is considered.
You will remove that.
No. Aside from that, that is considered as violation already.
Kakasuhan na.
They're the ones who put that, who put those election paraphernalia, and they can be charged of violation of our election code.
Okay. So, panawagan din sa mga printing press, no? Sa mga printing press po, may nabanggit ho si Atty. Temie Lambino kanina, na lahat po, no? Dapat alam nyo, meron kayong kopya nito, no? Itong batas na sinasabi mo, na yun hong sinabi niya, pag nagpagawa ho ng mga leaflets o mga posters, kailangan nakalagay dyan, yung partido, di ba? Sino nagbayad, actual na nagbayad ng poster na yan, o yung pinagawa nila. At, so hindi pwede talaga, ulitin ko lamang, yung paid for by friends of Temie or friends of Sonny, ganyan. Hindi pwede yan. Specific names. Dapat alam nyo na yan.
Or a corporation, if the corporation
or a corporation.
That's person. That's considered as juridical person. And the specific address of that person.
Specific address?
Yes, specific address of
name and address. Naku, maraming pupunta sa'yo pag pangalan mo nakalagay doon, no? So, ayan ho mga kaibigan. You mean business this time? Kasi dati naman may batas na ganyan.
No, we mean business every election. It so happened that we have a dearth of manpower and we are quite busy with other things. That's why, at saka medyo matitigas ang ulo ng mga kandidato at saka mga supporters nila. There was no election that we did not operate on or conduct upland baklas. It so happened that mas maraming nagva-violate ng batas na gano'n kaysa sa mga operations namin.
Kung ako, no, salbahe ako, kunwari, o merong ibang salbahing tao, Alam niyo yung mga violations yan. Ginawa nila para sa kalaban nila sa politika.
There always, alam mo, usual na if you charge a person of this kind of crime, the usual defense of that person you charge is that I wasn't the one who put up that campaign material, yung kalaban ko. But let's face it, hindi naman siguro.
You have to be responsible.
No. You have to prove na talagang
silang naglagay.
Sila naglagay. That's a different thing. Stating that you were the one who put up that election paraphernalia is another compared to how would you prove that allegation or defense.
Or
is another thing also.
This question naman, yung sa Operation Baklas, sino ba ang allowed na mag-Operation Baklas?
Yes, we have task force.
Okay.
Section 28 of that Common Electoral Resolution 8758. No. Ang sinasabi doon is, so we have the chairman, the election officer. Election officer, we have that in every municipality and city also. And the vice chairman would be the chief of police. And the third member is any member of the deputized agencies of the government. We included that in our operation, the AFP, the Armed Forces of the Philippines. So yun yung compositions natin. Now we are asking the help of the local government units. I think they should help us because hindi lang violation ng election lotto It's also a violation of local ordinances. If you put up streamers or posters which has no permit or that have no permits coming from the local government unit concern, then that would be a violation of local ordinance. And also, aside from this is their job, it is also their civic and moral obligation to make sure that our place, our community is clean.
Okay, but they have to be fair.
All right, yes, of course, they should
have to be fair.
If they remove the name of their opponents, they have to remove also their posters.
Their own posters.
Yes, their own posters.
Okay, yun naman, nabanggit mo na rin. Sinasabi mo kung sino yung allowed na magtatanggal, no? Yung magbabaklas. Pero meron namang iba, tinatakpan yung iba, tapos nagbabaklas ng hindi sa kanila. Yan ba, may violation din yan? Bawal ba yan?
First, Sonny, we have to know where you can put up your legitimate campaign materials. First, you can put up the CPAs, or the common poster areas designated by our election officers. We have that every barangay.
Yes.
Or if there is a necessity to put up more, we have common poster areas all over the province.
Yes.
Now, you can also put that up sa private residences with the consent of the owner. So those are the two places where you can put
private places with the consent of the owner.
With the consent of the owner. So if the owner would not, if you would ask me, how do you know that the owner's consent was given to the person who hung?
He allowed it, or she allowed
his or her poster. It's just if the owner did not remove that,
it's an indication, no? Indication that they allowed it.
Consent was given. So yun lang. So what was the question a while ago?
Yung nagbabaklas, yung mga
yes, yung mga nagbabaklas. Example,
hindi naman pala sila allowed, kalaban.
If that is the common poster area, like TL Party, that's the common poster area of the TL Party.
Temie Lambino Party yan, o?
Temie and Lopez. Or True Love. No? Nilagay niya yan sa isang, binilt niya yan, tapos nilagay niya yung mga posters nila. And somebody, another party would, shall we say,
destroy them or remove them,
or remove or tear down these posters. That would be a violation also.
Violation.
Yes, that person can be charged of violation of election code, Fair Election Act. Bawal yun.
Very, very clear ho yan, no? So both ways, it goes both ways, no? Kailangan po mag-ingat po ang kandidato. Pero sabi mo nga kanina, you want to do all this, no? You want to do all this, but the problem is that you cover such a big area with such a limited number of personnel working for you and with you that it's almost physically impossible to do everything that you're telling us right now.
You know, that is not a good reason, no? But of course that's the actual scenario on previous elections.
It's a reality,
it's
right?
It's a reality. But now I think we have to be more responsible. We have to tell the people, especially the candidates, to at least tell their subordinates or their people not to put up election paraphernalia outside of the common poster area or especially on trees.
Right.
Kasi they're ready
by patawag na ngayon yan, yung mga naglagay ng mga posters sa trees?
Patawag natin sa opisina, lahat-lahat. But you're talking about the
dami niya.
Candidates for president. They're busy campaiging. Maybe they don't have any time. But we'll be sending letters to them to specifically remove this election posters.
That's why we have this program, COMELEC Checkpoint. Yes. That's why we are always inviting, and we will make this on a regular basis para continuous po yung flow ng information ng ating pong kasamang si Atty. Temie Lambino. And this is the responsibility of media. Sana lahat ng mga networks will help the COMELEC in trying to disseminate the necessary information so we can have the minimum number of violations.
That is right.
Tinanggap na ni Atty. Lambino. The reason yan, sabi niya. Pero the fact that he admitted that ang lawak ng trabaho, kailangan tumulong na yung mismong mga kandidato at ang kanilang mga supporters.
Yes.